Great folks. This is the BlackWeasel, and this is my video game review of Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't have the physical game, but I played this on the Super Nintendo Mini Classic. Like, here it is. I bought this well over a year ago, and I played Super Mario RPG, Earthbound, Secret of Mana, and Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I'll be making those video game reviews later on. Like, here it is. I got this game as part of the Super Nintendo Classic that contained 20 games from the era and put into one console. This is another role-playing game turned out by Square that was made onto the Super Nintendo Classic. This is one of the games of the early 90s that's been touted as one of the best RPGs on the Super Nintendo. I couldn't get around to playing this game because 1, it was on a Nintendo console. 2, I did not own a Nintendo console until I bought the classic console from Target, but I did, and here we are talking about it. Secret of Mana is an RPG that's about a young boy that finds a stick stuck in a stone. That finds a sword stuck in a stone. On top of that, he hears a strange voice encouraging him to pull it out, which he does. Nearby where it was, monsters start attacking in place and the villages of his home. And the village of his home took it as a bad sign, and he got kicked out of his home village. But on the bright side, he gets help from somebody that recognizes the sword and tells them that he needs to visit 8 mana temples in order to restore the sword's power and save the world from disaster. Hence the name Secret of Mana. Alright, this game is totally different from Final Fantasy games that Square cranks out and traditional same-old Dragon Quest. For starters, it's not turn-based or it's not of the active time battle system kind. It's a real-time action game. It took a couple pages out of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, that's for sure. I played Zelda before this game and I got stuck, and so I stopped playing Zelda and focused on this one because I like RPGs the most. When I kill monsters in Secret of Mana, I get experience points as usual, but in The Legend of Zelda, I do not. Another thing Secret of Mana got from The Legend of Zelda is some of the puzzle elements. In order to get through the game, I'll come across some puzzles here and there where I need to use the random magic from one of the 8 mana beings to open the door. Since this is a real-time action game, everything is happening as time goes on. There's no moment to stop or waiting for someone's turn. The best way for me to pause the game is to bring up the menu. And the menu is simple as hell. It's in the shape of a ring, so getting around and maintaining the equipment doesn't end up being complicated. On top of real-time action going on, the main hero is joined by a girl and a short person that's a sprite. I had to look up myself to find out what a sprite was, and it's another word for imp, elf, or fairy, except the short person in the game isn't one of those. The person is a sprite. So I'm in charge of 3 people for the rest of the game. And since this game isn't turn-based, I have to keep an eye out for these guys' health all the time and make sure that one of them doesn't die. But if they do, then the killing monster becomes harder to do as the journey goes on. I like the music in this game because the composer for this music did something special and one unconventional approach towards making the music, and it paid off in the end. I like visiting the villages and towns so I can listen to the theme of it. It sounds really great and immersive. Now, for the graphics, they are really bright and colorful in this game. It shows the power of the Super Nintendo, but on the flip side, this is on an emulated bundle console and not the original Super Nintendo. And so, there's some slow movements at certain times because everything is happening at one time or another. I'm in direct control of one character while the other 2 are handled by artificial intelligence. I charge up my sword so I can launch a powerful attack while one of the other 2 characters are casting spells or just straight up attacking the monsters. And of course the monster gets smashed, sliced up or exploded in pieces and drop an item. And the sounds it made from getting killed is addicting, that's for sure. Alright, I'll give Secret of Mana a 9.4 out of 10. Alongside Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy IV, Earthbound, and Super Mario RPG Legend of the 7 Stars, and Final Fantasy VI. It's one of the best RPGs on the Super Nintendo I have played. And alongside Final Fantasy VII, Persona 4, Suikoden, and Persona 5, It's one of the best RPGs in my life that I have played so far. I played this game on April 3rd, 2018, and I finished the game on May 25th, 2018. It took me over 31 hours to finish this game. Given the direction that developers went with this one, Secret of Mana is in a league of its own that can't be matched. Alright, here it is, and that's that.